So what we're going to be doing is we're going to be using our craft stick or bone folder, and we're literally just going to, what do you call that? Like burnish these score lines so that you have a really crisp fold. So, but when we do that is you want to make sure that the cardstock is lined up and then score it, right? Or burnish it. And so on the next line, we're going to do the same thing. We're doing that. All the folds are going in the same direction. So in other words, they're all going up. So this one, again, I'm making sure that, let me do this so you can see it. I'm making sure that the sides line up because you don't want it to go like this and then you burnish it and now it's crooked. So you want to make sure it lines up, burnish it, and do that for all of the score lines. So when you're done, you'll kind of see how it naturally curves in. So now the next thing we're going to do is we're taking our pattern paper piece B and we're going to put adhesive in the back because we're going to adhere it here. Now when I mention it on the directions, I say to place it to the card base, but do not cover any score lines. And what I mean by that is that very top score line, you want to make sure that it's centered between this one and the top. And then we're just going to kind of eyeball the center. Yep, I think that looks good. And you can use your craft stick to burnish it down a little bit. I'm not folding at the first one, I'm folding at the second one because we're building this little base. You're just folding it down, making sure it folds. Now what we're going to do is we're going to center the piece C, which again is the pattern paper. And if you look at our sample, you can see it right here. We're going to put adhesive and then we're going to put it right there. Now again, the nice thing is you can keep that flat when you do adhere it so that you know it's on there. So put your adhesive, then just center it between the two score lines best you can. So we can put this aside. So now we have our coordinating cardstock piece number D, or letter D. And again, we're going to score or burnish the score lines. And we're going to do the same thing where they're all, you want to make sure they're even on the edges and scoring in the same direction, in this case up. This piece, the way I did the card is I have it centered. Now, you know, you can go to the left, you can go to the right, but I like it in the centered. So what we're going to do is we're going to put adhesive from the bottom of this, the inside obviously, the back side, and we don't want to go further than 1.5 inches. So what you can do, or what I always recommend doing, is when you don't need adhesive somewhere, take this piece, put it flush to the bottom, and just use your pencil and do a little tick mark. I don't know if you can see that, just really light. And so you know to put the adhesive below that line. And you can do it this way, laying it flat, finding the middle, and lining up the edges on that. So now it's adhered only to that bottom section. And then when you do that, we're kind of doing the same thing, only with this tab, again, and this time I'm going to give you the tip, and it's actually going to work, is you only want to put a little flag up. Again, you're folding on that 5 1/4, right? You're tucking that under. And then when you know that's what you want to do, you'll take this and slowly slide it and then burnish that adhesive. Oh, so on step number 6, it says optional. So we have this piece here, which we did include, which would be this coordinating piece. And again, you want to put some adhesive and then just center it. So let's do that. So there we go. That's what it looks like now. Now we have coordinating cardstock that's going to fit here. And this is E. So again, same thing, put some adhesive and then you're going to center it. And instead of having it up and like this, you can put it flat down. That gives it a little bit more strength and sturdiness. Again, you just want to kind of eyeball it, but make sure that you're using this score line for your, where you're putting that. See how that goes? And now we're going to take our white, well, I called it white cardstock because this is where you would do your stamping or anything, or your decorating. So I'm going to put that right there. And remember, yours looks like World's Best Dad. Mine says birthdays. I went for the birthday option. And center that. So now what we're going to do is we're going to assemble the embellishments. So this little, what do you call that, rounded portion that has a sentiment. Glad you're my dad. Oh, I just realized mine, I shouldn't use this because I have the birthday one. So I'm not going to put mine on, but what you would do is just center it in the middle of this little label. I'm not going to do that with mine, so mine will look a little different when I'm done. But then when you're done doing that, then you want to add your little label, and you're just putting it here, again, centering it. Right, just make sure that the right side is up, so when you do put your adhesive down, it won't be a mistake. And I'll try not to make that mistake. I think I'm on a roll today. Just add adhesive as much as you can. And then again, just line it up on this base. Adhere it to its flush to the bottom of the card, or you can raise it up a little bit. I'm going to raise mine up a little bit. I think it looks better that way. And again, just be careful not to put adhesive where you don't need it, because if it closes, then it'll stick to that back part. So in this section, it's only this top corner. So I'm not going to put any adhesive there. I'm going to lay it flush against that cardstock piece. Use your fingers, use your stick to make sure you burnish that down there so it's stuck on there. Look at that, that's cute. And for the next section, we're going to put this little banner up in this top right corner. You don't need a lot of adhesive there because we're going to use that fancy paper clip to hold it on, but put this on flush to the top of the card. I don't know if you can see that. It's just flushed. But before we put this paper clip on, let's tie the twine. Just tug at the edges to make it even, or sort of even. Tighten it. And then I'm going to take some scissors and just cut edges. I don't want it to be that long. And then basically you're just tucking that on there. I know the bows are always hard. This is a pretty simple bow. It's like tying your shoes. Mm-hmm. And that is it. But that's basically it for this Father's Day card, and in my case, a birthday card.